Welcome back to another episode of Iron Sands Engineering. Now, today we're going to be doing something a bit different. We are going to be working on the bike. We finished building my MK2 Bandit, I think about a year ago now. I took it for MOT in October, it passed, but I didn't want to ride it in the winter, so I thought, okay, well, we'll wait until the spring and then we ride it when it's actually biking weather. Because we're moving, it's taken a long time to actually get on the bike. But this week I did, and it rode beautifully. But the only problem that I've got is the indicator doesn't want to work, as in like the switch. So, we've got a new switch, and we've got the bike. So, trip over my own measuring jug there. We are going to be putting this whole new switch unit, replacing that one, which is not going to be too fun, being as I know that the loom is inside the headlight, and that is full of wires because I've had it apart before, and this all springs apart. So let's crack on, shall we?
This is my 2004 Mark II Suzuki Bandit 600, and as you can see, it looks a lot different from standard form. I chopped the back off to make it more cafe racer, completely gutted the bike, welded new bits onto it, changed all the gaskets in the engines, new exhaust, rebuilt the forks, lowered it went on and on and on, including the custom paint job on the tank which I've done myself, which I'm quite happy about. It's got new handlebars, new headlights, all bits and pieces like that. I built this bike as a bit of a tribute to my nan, who unfortunately died in 2021, and this bike really helped me get through a really difficult time while thinking about her, which is why it's called grief.
Alright, to start with, we've got to disconnect basically this entire bit here. So we've got to disconnect the carb cable from, well, obviously the throttle for the carb. All the plugs and that go together in this loomer here anyway, so really it's just two screws will undo this, and then the cable from there, and this whole piece will just hang down. We've then got to trace that cable, and it goes into the back of the headlight here. Now in there, there's like in the back of these headlights, there's like a loom. So what we've got to do is undo this screw here, and there's another one on the other side. This front section will come off along with the little kind of shield for the headlight. The front and the headlight will come out, and then you'll be exposed, all the wiring in there. You just unplug that and pull it out. It shouldn't take long, so let's crack on with that. And that was just my famous last words. Don't ever say that. Don't ever say that won't take long. Never. Because now, I can guarantee this is going to take me most of the day. As you can see, we've got the headlight open. So this is all the loom, what's inside there. So we've got like obviously the ballast for the new light and stuff like that, blah blah blah. This yellow one here, I believe, is the one for the indicators. So we're going to be unplugging that, pulling it out, threading the new one through, connecting it all up, see if it works. So the switch is all replaced now. So let's start the bike and see if we fix the problem. Oh dear. Oh, we got right. And it turns off. But we've got no left still, which was the problem in the first place. So that ain't no good. Everything else seems to work. Let's start. Yeah. Right, so that would tell me that there's something wrong with the wiring, the actual loom, which someone had hacked about at some point in the past anyway to fit this. So we're going to have to trace it and see if we can find what the problem is. I love electrics, don't you? So I think we've found the source of the problem. So hang on a second, let's see what we've got here. Left hand indication. Yes, we have left hand indication. You can see it down there flashed inside the light. You can see it back here on the rear light. Let's go right hand indication. Yeah, it's showing up there. Got it on the back of the light. You got it at the front of the light too. That is fantastic. But do you know how I found out about that? It's not so fantastic, because it makes me feel like a tit. But basically, when I had MOT last year, the MOT tester said to me, your rear lights are too close together, or your indicators are too close together. They need to be further apart. There's an actual specification of how far they can be apart. So I was like, oh, okay. He's like, yeah, just put some on. I was like, fair enough. Well, I don't like the way that looks with that small light that I got. So what I done was I made them so they were detachable. So you put them on for MOT, or like if you got pulled and all that, and yeah, great, lovely job. That's how it worked. But I made it so they were removable. So I soldered in some wires with spade terminals onto them so that you could plug and play. Now what's happened is, these are the spade terminals. And as you can see, they got bare ends. Not very much though. I did insulate them thinking something like this could happen. But basically what had happened is, because I'd been actually riding the bike, these had gone underneath here and they were earthing onto this metal bracket. So that was all it was. So I've spent a week of not riding my bike, 20 quid on a new switch, and obviously today pulling the headlight apart, pulling the loom out, switching the switch, all of that, only to find out that all it was spade terminals had flicked up and got on a metal bracket. Fantastic. But at least it's sorted, you paid to learn, it was only 20 quid, and I got a spare switch. So if anything does go wrong, I've got another switch. So let's take it for a ride, shall we? Went out for a little ride and made it to Two Wheel Tuesday. Hooray! Look at all that, Vicky, look at all that!
thanks for watching this video, guys. As you can probably tell, this outro was filmed on a completely different day. That is because I filmed one when we got back from Two Wheel Tuesday, and for some reason it doesn't seem to have actually recorded. But we got back quite late, it was dark, first time we've ever ridden like our bikes in the dark and all that. It was alright. But yeah, the Two Wheel Tuesday was awesome. I'd recommend you go to it next summer when things start kicking off again, because I knew about it, but I only really got out there, well, this time. But I really wish I went earlier in the year. But yeah, I'd recommend you highly check that out in Old Buckingham. So yeah, cheers for watching this video, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you again soon.